Hey there, everybody. It's Wednesday. We're about halfway through my family's visit to the town over from us. Um, but just a little bit of detail. They stay every year at the house that my aunts and uncles have kept after my grandmother passed away. And even though she wasn't my biological grandmother, as some of us know, our chosen family can be every bit as important, if not more important, than our biological families. So she was my grandmother for her whole time that I've been alive, and she will remain my grandmother for the entirety that she remains in my memory. Let's talk about plants. We are just a few feet from my Honeycrisp apple, which has been absolutely decimated by Japanese beetles despite my efforts and collections in feeding the beetles to the ducks. And just outside of its radius, past its drip line, we have this space that could use a little bit of maintenance, could use a little bit of additional plants growing that is not the grass. And so one of the things that I have been blessed to get from my grandmother's house are these walking onions. Now, these are Grandma Mary's walking onions. They are technically Egyptian walking onions, but apparently they've had these growing under one of the grape arbors at her house by the beach. And I have not been successful with Egyptian walking onions from other parts of the country so far, and I've ordered them a few times. So I am fortunate that I have found these and will be able to add them to the rest of the gardens. My thought is that for the large bulbs, the actual shallot-sized onions that are the mother plants, I will be inserting them well into the ground. But the boobles, my inclination is to give them just a very light amount of cover with them resting on the ground. I will likely scalp some of this so that they have very little competition in this area. But given their growth pattern, I think that this is the more approachable and less labor-intensive method to install these into a few spots in our landscape. So I'm going to take my steel shovel, and you can see down here, all I've done is not very far in, and I've just kind of pried up the ground a little bit in either direction. Right, and so when I break this up just a little bit to weaken the sod, I get about halfway through my palm, and so I'm just gonna break this up a little bit, pull some of these extra grasses out while we can, and we're just gonna take this guy and gently insert him in. And now I'm just gonna step this over a little bit to firm some of the soil around it, give it a little extra protection. And we're gonna move on to the next one. But for the bubbles, I don't know. I'm a speller, not a pronouncer. What we can do is we've got all of this lovely mulch that you can see in the various stages of decomposition. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to rough it up a little bit till we expose all of these grass runners. Because I'm not really keen on letting the quack grass continue to invade this space. But so, now that we have a little spot prepped, just like in nature, we're just going to let this guy kind of fall over. And we're just going to give him a very light cover. And that'll be the process for the rest of these as we go through. So that's my update for now. I'm bringing a ton of them to market. We have a few buckets that are approximately this size, which is around a 3 gallon. So I have 2 of these that have the mother bulbs in them, just loosely packed with some compost so that we can bring them to market. And if anyone wants them, they can pick up one and take it home, and we can charge a little bit of short money for those, as opposed to the ones that we are growing out in pots, or the ones that are multiple bulbs, which obviously you can separate and plant like normal onions as well. So we'll be doing a little experiment. This is again, me trialing things, because none of the things that I have done with them have worked so far. So if you have some advice or some tricks that you've used to get them to really ramp up in your space, I'd love to know in the comments. But that's going to be my process for now, and my task for the next half hour or so. So yeah, till next time. Thanks for watching. Happy planting.